Hello and welcome to Let's Replay. I'm Ellie Gibson. I'm joined today by Eurogamer's Christian Donlan.
Hello, hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very excited to be filming in the office today.
Yes, I've just realised why they never say "How are you" on live television, because then you get into a loop.
Nobody cares. yeah. How are you? Nobody cares. Anyway, forget all that. What are we playing today?
Today we're playing Robotron 2084.
Ah,
yes.
Which was made in
1982.
Right.
It's my favourite game ever.
Well, looking already, it's a vision of the future. It really is, isn't it?
I know, that font, that's only available in the future.
Oh,
it unlocks in the future.
Yeah, I'm going to have my wedding invitations printed in that.
Ariel, maybe Garamond, but not this one.
Those were the days though, and there was 3 television channels and 2 fonts.
That would be a good show. So Garamond 3000 AD.
I'm not familiar with this game because obviously I'm only 25. So what's it? It's not that funny.
No, I'm just realising I'm 10 years older than you. All of a sudden.
What's it all about?
Right, it is it's not the original twin stick shooter, but it is kind of the emblematic twin stick shooter. It's after Eugene Jarvis and Larry DeMar, after they created Defender for Williams, which was a big hit, and I think one of Martin Robinson's favourite games. They tired of working for Williams, and they formed their own company called VidKids, and the first game they made was Stargate, which was a sequel to Defender, and then they made this, and it's got no... Shall I play a bit and try let me try and talk while playing, which I've never... Also, even though it is my favourite game, I am terrible at it.
That's all right. That is in keeping with that's a classic Let's Replay theme that everybody who plays the game must go on about how much they like it and then be absolutely awful.
So you can move in all these directions and you can shoot in all these directions, and each level has a little family, the last human family who you have to collect. There's Daddy, there's Mikey. Oh, I just ran into an electrode.
It's a little bit heteronormative, if you don't mind me
saying. I know. I was actually going to say that as we watched the screen unfolding, and then I thought...
You'd never guess that we read The Guardian a lot and listen to Radio 4, would you?
No. Oh, yes. The Guardian would not be fair. But actually, funnily enough, the main character, they used to refer to him when they were making it as Elton John, because he has big glasses. There's a bit of sort of like sexual rebalancing there. Can you say sexual rebalancing? I don't know.
I think so. Is it like an unlockable David Furnish? That would be nice. There's like a bonus level.
Oh my god, sorry, I'm laughing so much. I'm doing even worse than usual.
No, you're doing great.
No, don't.
There's a bonus level where you have to find all the money that you spent on flowers and give it to the tax man.
Did he get in trouble with the tax people?
Oh, there was definitely a flowers thing. I remember that.
Definitely a flower. I think you're inventing the tax, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It's probably libelous. Let's press on.
So what's exciting about this game? A couple of things are really exciting about it. Is that it has a mixture of things that are trying to kill you and things which you have to collect, such as the last human family. Which that was a disaster, by the way. But also, each of the enemy types has its own behaviours, so you get these really, really rich, emergent systems. So, for years, I always wondered why... I appreciate I'm talking for a long time here, sorry.
No,
for years, I always wondered why Eugene Jarvis's games felt more alive than other arcade games, and it's because his enemies are never on rails, or they're never just like the phalanx of Space Invaders calmly sort of monolithically advancing towards you. All of his enemies have the grunts, which are the red guys, they are just trying to seek you, which means that over time they form this bait ball, which just killed me. The Hulks, meanwhile, the green guys, you can't kill them, but they have a very weak ability to search you out, which means they're sort of randomly wandering around, which means they're in sort of like a different thing to think about compared to the grunts. And then the spheroids, the red spheres, which spawn in forces, they tend to end up in the corners. It's just there's lots to think about. This is Wave 5, very quickly. Wave 5 is possibly the greatest bug in any video game ever, in that by a weird coincidence, by a weird kind of glitch in the programming, only the family, it's all mummies apart from one Mikey. And if you can keep... I'm playing terribly, but I'm talking.
No, that's right. You're being very intelligent, so it's fine.
I know you well enough to know that's a joke. But anyway, so all of the family who you meant to collect, in Wave 5 it only spawns one child, and the rest are all mums. And all of the brains who are looking for the family, they're only looking for the boy. So if you can keep the boy alive, you can collect all of the mums. Because they're not after them.
So that wasn't a deliberate design decision?
But it's a brilliant design element, because it means that in the early mid game, as I would but there's suddenly a level where if you play really well, if you play really tactically, you can get a load of lives. Hulks. Every time I die in this game, it's because I've forgotten one other thing. It's either like I'm like looking to collect things, or I've forgotten about collecting things, or I've forgotten about one enemy, or I was looking where I wanted to go rather than where I was.
So you know what's happened, don't you?
What's that?
You've become middle-aged.
I know. Well, do you know what? Become middle-aged is not even the half of it. Yes.
But I bet in 1982 you would have been what, 14, 18?
Yes, that's right. I would have been 4.
Okay, yeah. But when you were playing this game in the 80s, you know, you had a young, sharp child's mind, and now I couldn't remember where I left my keys.
No, I was like this when I was a 4-year-old fretter for sure.
Oh well.
And I think this game because this game is pure anxiety, it kind of ties in well to my. I was born to play Robotron because I was born to worry about invading robots.
So did you start playing it when you were 4?
No,
Right.
No, not at all. I started playing it probably when I was 20.
Right.
Which is still a long time ago because, like I said, middle age creeps up on you.
Yeah. So what is it apart from the crazy bugs and obviously the fantastic plot that really appeals to you about this game?
It is that I think all action games are sort of aspiring to the state of Robotron, because Robotron is just move and shoot with dynamic, emergent enemies and battlefields. So there really isn't much more to action games than move and shoot. And it's funny you talk about the plot being ridiculous, but that's kind of a bonus in that the plot is really just there to explain why there's only one of you and there's lots of everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm playing so badly at the moment, but.
And again, I've said this before in this series, but I don't mind video games having a very stupid, cursory plot. I'd rather deal with that than watch a 90-minute cutscene.
Oh, so no. Though, oddly enough, the other day at his GDC presentation, Eugene Jarvis did admit that GRUNT is an acronym, and it stands for Ground Roving Unit Network Terminator, which I thought was. I wrote that down. In fact, I was dying just then because I was reading it off a pad I've put on the floor. But yeah, it's. Oh, jeez. Am I allowed to say? Yeah, probably. It's purely about like target prioritization and about sort of knowing when to move, when to. It's a beautiful, pure. But like really, I like it because it's like really anarchic and really unpredictable. You can kind of learn behaviours, but you can't. There's no one thing you can do in Robotron which will always make you better at it.
It's not just Call of Duty made out of CFAX, basically.
No, Call of Duty that was a terrible. Look at that, you see, because even when you can complete a level, you can mess it up by leaving the human family behind. And then, pardon me, I'm so sorry. My daughter's given me a lovely cold. But even then, one of the things which is amazing about it is if you look at all of the games which have it spawned, kind of Geometry Wars and stuff like that, there is a certain kind of buggy charm to the original, which means I don't think it can be beaten. Eugene Jarvis used to say that like a game should be stable enough to run, but it should be buggy enough to sort of surprise the player. And this has got some really brilliant little glitches.
Really? I feel like buggy enough to, yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's talking
Battlefield
Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
But I'm so sorry. I hope you can edit those bits out. What's amazing about it is that its bugs all work into this kind of consistency. Once you know what the bugs are, they become a consistent part of the game.
Okay,
and then you can kind of strategize around them. I'm so sorry for coughing in such a disgusting fashion.
No, it's all part of the ambience,
really?
Isn't it? In the 80s, we hadn't cured TB yet, had we? Everyone was still dying of cholera for the most part.
That was the joy of the 80s.
So are you a shooters fan generally? Do you play modern shooters?
No, not at all. This is like... for me, this is pretty much the only action game I need. That's a terrible thing to admit as someone who writes about games.
This is your desert island action game.
This is basically my desert island, like the thing I would take to a desert island if I had a PowerPoint. This would be it.
Just this game?
Yeah, though oddly enough, I'd probably need to take some bits and pieces because it had these 2 joysticks and because it's aggressively unpleasant. Most arcade games at the time, they would give you 2 or 3. You'd have 2 or 3 minutes on 25 cents. This one, I think the average playtime at first is in a couple of seconds. So people used to destroy the cabinets. In fact, Eugene Jarvis used to walk around Chicago and he knew a game of his was a success if the cabinets were being repaired because someone had put like a fist through it or something. So I would probably need a repair kit.
Yeah.
The game which is
that
kind
could be your luxury item. You got the
that
works
could,
of Shakespeare.
well, no, this would be my luxury item, and then
right,
I'd have to negotiate with. It's not Sue Lawley anymore, is it? I'm showing my age. It's Kirsty. I'd have to negotiate with Kirsty and go, look, I'd like Robotron, but I'd also like a repair kit, and I'm actually not. I could swap it for the Bible or the complete works of Shakespeare.
Oh, I could do without either of those.
I'm not gonna.
Really.
I'm not gonna read
No, I haven't read, those books in 36 years.
I'll be on this island.
On a desert island.
On this island, I'll just be like, battle the snake or something, and I'll go, I tell you what, I'll read as you like it, to take the edge off the evening.
Yeah. I'm just going to
just
have a quick look at Corinthians while I roast this box.
What does Leviticus say about getting your foot stuck between two boulders? And I know it probably does say something.
So it's call James Franco, and he'll tell you what to do. I expect.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, I was thinking James Franco in the Bible. Is he is he some kind of great scholar of the Talmud or something? But no, he was in a movie where he had to cut his arm.
I don't know.
I know. I'm damning him with.
Never met him.
I'm damning him with faint praise. Right.
But yeah, going back to the sort of the bug thing and how that makes this game particularly sort of fun and interesting. I mean, would that circumstance ever happen today? Because in those days, you didn't have these great halls of like QA.
It's almost like I'm writing a piece on this very subject at the moment.
Is it?
Yes. There are. I mean, so Goat Simulator recently. I played that very badly. This level, Goat Simulator recently. I got very excited about it because they said we're not going to We'll fix any of the crash bugs, but we won't fix anything that isn't game breaking. And I played it, and it's a little bit too much like a National Trust garden for bugs. You feel like bugs are allowed in this kind of repose. They're in their lawn, they're in their bath chairs with their tartan blankets. And I think the games which are genuinely buggy, like Battlefield 4 or something like that, that's not great. You can't really build a satisfying strategy around the fact that suddenly you're propelled 15 feet forward, or that one bullet will suddenly have the damage of 30, or that you just get a random disconnect from a buggy server or something like that. That's
not ideal.
No, bugs are a tricky one. Basically, I live in hope that you kind of live in hope that you think, oh, bugs could be this great kind of folk art thing, this thing that games have contributed to all of art, this idea of bugs. But in reality, most of them are not great.
Yeah. But this is a great game.
This is a wonderful game. I love it, and I recommend it. And I'm playing it like an absolute idiot. But in my defence, I'd say one of the things about Robotron is one of those games you really need to kind of get your eyes in a little bit. You need to play it for like an hour before you... Eugene Jarvis says that when he plays it in his basement, he needs to play it for an hour before he's any good at all. And he still hasn't beaten 1 million points.
Wow.
And neither have I.
He hasn't beaten his own game.
No.
Well...
No, he hasn't.
Well, I feel for that man.
Yeah, so do I.
It's a waste of a life. All right, well,
thank
you very much.
You slipped that one through. Extreme. I think he's lived a rich, full life, I would argue.
Yeah,
not that there's plenty of it left as well, I hope.
And he's made a wonderful game. Please don't sue us. All right, thank you very much for showing us Robotron.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Hello, it's Blue Peter. One of the dogs has died. Okay.
And Percy. Percy Thrower's died as well.
Is he?
Percy Thrower is dead.